Mr. Gu, this is the second time you are in Switzerland now. What is your impression?
It's a natural beauty and the tidiness, order, everything is in order here. And secondly, your hardworking people and competitiveness. In regard to competitiveness, you are number one globally. And it's amazing that Switzerland is one of the 20 largest economy in the world. Amazing.
Hardworking, this is also a feature of the Chinese people. Do you think this is why Swiss and Chinese people can work together well?
I think that's one reason.
There must be many more.
Yeah, there must be more, but this is one important reason, I think.
The opening of ICBC here in Zurich, Switzerland, is a big move for the world's biggest bank by assets. What are you hoping to achieve?
Even before we come to Zurich, many customers here, actually, they are already our partner. But we think still it's quite important for us to enter the market physically. Currently, we have three categories of clients in our mind. First, the local leading companies. In terms of land area, Switzerland is not very large, but there are many leading global company based here, so they are our good partner. The secondary category is those big Chinese company doing business here, like COFCO and Jinchuan Group. And thirdly, Switzerland is a significant financial center globally. It is home to numerous financial institutions, including commercial banks and insurance company. I think that they are our potential partner of ICBC.
So how will your operations look like in terms of office and staff and business plans?
Currently, we have 20 people here, and
it's not much for the biggest bank in the world.
It's a beginning. It's beginning, and nearly half of them are local. We have a plan, 3-year plan, and in 3 years, the number will increase to 30 people, and the new employees will be mainly recruited in local market.
Why is that? Is it important for you to kind of have a lot of locals working for ICBC in terms of cultural differences and that they can be overcome?
Yeah, I think one is that the reason you just mentioned, that's one reason. And the other reason is that I think that when we come to Switzerland, the local people, they know the market quite well, and they know the regulatory requirement quite well. And the financial market here is quite mature. There are a lot of expertise here, so there's no need to send too many people from China.
The preparations for the new office, they started in 2016, so it took about 2 years to set up the office here. Why did it take so long, and was it difficult to get a license from FINMA?
There's a lot of preparation. To open a bank means quite a significant work to do, and you need to do a lot of preparation in different areas, like IT, like compliance, and you need to recruit the proper people. During the process, actually, the local authority, including the state government and regulators, they gave us a lot of help. We appreciate it.
Here, the brand new office of ICBC is located just next to the prestigious Paradeplatz. You are behind Credit Suisse and UBS in terms of location. Is this not a very symbolic move to be here with the Swiss banks?
We will cooperate with the local financial institutions. As I mentioned before, Switzerland is home to many global leading financial institutions, and there's huge potential for us to cooperate.
Talking about the potentials, in which business areas are you hoping to expand here in the Swiss market?
We will focus on corporate banking, trade finance, commodity finance, and secondly, we will work as a bridge to facilitate the trade and the business between the two countries. Currently, as you may already know, China is the largest trade partner in Asia for Switzerland. And maybe we are the third largest globally behind the EU and the United States. So we want to be a bridge to facilitate the trade between the two countries. And RMB business, thirdly, RMB business. We are the largest RMB bank in the world. We want to introduce different RMB products and the potential investment opportunity to local companies. For example, the bond market in China. Many companies here, they are quite interested in the market, in the bond market in China. The yield is good, and it's quite safe, and the exchange rate of RMB is stable. But they are not knowing the market quite well, and so we can help them to apply for the qualifications and help them to select the proper target to invest. So RMB business is another area we want to focus on.
Do you think that there is really a need for that here in the market? Is it not fully exploited and explored already by the banks here in Switzerland?
There's a need. Many major local companies actually focus on commodity business, but the market, I think that will be in favor of big players because you need the information globally, and you need to get a better understanding of different markets so that you can survive. It's not easy for tier 2 or tier 3 players, but for big companies, I think that there's still potential to do business.
We've interviewed you first time for CCTV about 5 years ago, and since then the Chinese economy has been developing very rapidly. Also new innovations like mobile payments, e-commerce, facial recognition tools, everything. How difficult is it for a big bank to keep pace with all of these developments and innovations?
The technology, FinTech, is one of the key factors in our mind, key issues in our mind, because it's such a disruptive, it's a challenge that maybe the only challenge that can be disruptive to the financial sector. For ICBC, we already invest a lot in these areas. We have 7 labs focus on different areas like AI, big data, cloud computing. The difference between Chinese banks and other and the Western banks, I think that is we want to explore these areas mainly by ourselves. Of course, we also cooperate with other IT companies. In Western countries, I noticed that the banks, it seems that they intend more to merger and acquisition to purchase an IT company, a relevant IT company.
Are the Chinese companies not going out that much anymore to buy other companies in IT and AI and virtual reality, etc.? Do you think because of the government's restrictions in terms of capital outflows, or do you think this will pick up again?
No, that's not a reason. I'm talking about commercial banks. The major reason why we want to explore those areas, mainly by ourselves, is that we think that in this way we can build up a team in AR and other FinTech areas. The team will be easier to integrate it into our existing business. That's the major reason.
The bank is facing major headwinds in China because of shadow banking, local government debts, bad loans, etc. Which are the top challenges for you at this point?
There are several challenges at the moment. One issue, actually, I think that we want to further improve our ability to small and medium-sized companies. They are very important to the development of economy, and they are very important to employment. We have already granted sizable loans to small and medium-sized companies, but there's still a lot of room for us to further improve.
And how do you make sure that these loans don't turn bad, don't turn sour? This is a major challenge.
Major challenge, yeah. So for small and medium-sized companies, you need to sharpen your ability for risk control. So that's a challenge.
Do you think that ICBC has enough risk control tools at its hand right now?
I think that there's always room to improve. That's one challenge. And the second one is that the regulatory environment. We see globally a more rigorous regulation. The requirement from regulators are become more and more stringent. So we need to invest a lot in human resources, in IT system, so that we can adapt ourselves to the new environment.
And shadow banking is still one of the biggest headwinds as well. This ecosystem has grown to $10 trillion. It's connecting banks to companies to hundreds of millions of households. How worried are you that this bubble could burst still?
Asset management is quite mature here in Switzerland, but in China, I think that there's a need for us to slow down right now and make some consolidation.
Is it not too late?
I think it's just in time. Over the past several years, the growth rate is exceed 30%. It's too fast. So I think that it's quite necessary and timely for regulators to issue new rules on it. Over the past several years, we see many positive signs of banking performance. The profitability is resumed. The non-performing loans, the number is decreasing, and the coverage ratio is going up. Those are positive signals. Looking forward, I think that the trend will continue. There are two major points in the near future. One is that the recognition and disposal of non-performing loans in the second half of this year. Maybe the process may be speed up. I think that's also part of the deleveraging. The second point is that the positive trend I just mentioned will not be reversed. The deleveraging, you know, is one major theme in China now. But I think the regulators and the relevant parties, they realize, and it's a consensus that we'd better do it step by step, not in a hurry. So on one side, we can deleveraging. On the other side, it will be a stable process, a smooth process. We will not make a mess.
Still, the high NPL ratios are a burden on the balance sheet. To which level are you hoping to bring them down this year?
It depends, but I think the positive trend will continue.
Now, ICBC has embarked on a big global expansion. Which countries and cities are you hoping to set up next?
Which cities? You know, we already have presence in 45 countries and regions, including our branch in Zurich. And we are also the largest single shareholder of Standard Bank in South Africa. And indirectly, we entered another 20 markets in sub-Saharan area. So currently, our presence covers, I think, more than 90% of the global GDP.
So what's next for you? Which cities and countries?
So the point is that we don't have an urgent plan to further expand geographically.
Does it mean there are no new branches and offices this year?
No, we are actually we are still applying for a license in some areas, but not urgent, and there's no urgent need. The focus now for our international expansion is we are trying to optimize the structure. For example, in some area, we will focus more on corporate banking. In some other area, we will scale down the retail banking because it is so costly. And another priority is that we will invest heavily in compliance. As I mentioned before, the regulatory requirement is getting quite tightened. So for ICBC, it's a priority for us to invest more in compliance to make sure that we are prudent. We are a prudent bank, and we want to be a compliant bank everywhere.
Media reports say that ICBC is planning to purchase the German lender, DWB Bank. Can you confirm that?
We don't have a plan. As I mentioned, there's no urgent need for ICBC to expand geographically. So the top concern for us is whether we can achieve synergy when we consider a potential merger and acquisition. The bank you mentioned, we don't have a plan.
Does it also mean that you don't have any other merger and acquisition plans for this year and 2019?
The key point is whether we can achieve synergy. If there's a potential target, we can achieve the synergy, we will consider that.
And which countries and sectors would you be looking at?
We don't have an urgent need for a specific country or specific area. We are patient. We are waiting for the right opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And any area that you would be specifically targeting? Is it also sub-Saharan Africa or Europe, including Switzerland?
To merger and acquisition?
Exactly, for M&A plans.
No, we don't have a specific plan right now.
Now, you have your European office, the headquarters in London. How is Brexit impacting your operations there?
First, our European operation is headquartered in Luxembourg, not in London. And secondly, we do have some 3 institutions in London. One is a subsidiary and one is a branch. For these 2 institutions, their business and their customers mainly are from UK. So there will be very limited impact from Brexit. And another platform is ICBC Standard Bank, as I mentioned before. It's a commodity trading platform. Roughly less than 10% of their business and the customers are from continental Europe. So there will be some impact on that from Brexit. Currently, we are considering the potential approach to tackle the issue. One is that for that institution, they set up another subsidiary in continental Europe. That will be quite costly. Another approach is that to let our institutions in continental Europe to work as an agent for them. But that means we need to further develop some new IT system and new functions. We are considering that. Another approach is to conduct business as a company from a third country company on a cross-border business, on a cross-border basis. That's another potential approach, but that need to get the approval from the regulators in continental European countries. So we are discussing this with the relevant regulators in different countries.
You are one of the most important bankers in the world, Mr. Gu, but still keep a very low profile. How do you deal with all the pressure and stress?
To be short, I have my team. That's a key point.
It's all about teamwork, even for the biggest bank by assets in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, teamwork is very important.
Do you also hope to bring that to Switzerland here?
Definitely. We will cooperate with the other institutions, financial institutions, and internally, teamwork is key to our success here.
Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Gu.
Thank you.